So welcome, guys. I'm going to be sharing a presentation with you, which is really about how to really thrive and survive. So let me just get this up so everyone can see. Oh dear, okay, this is the link that I need. Right, so just let me know if and when you can see my screen. Just drop me a comment, drop me a thumbs up. Oh, something is wrong. Why it won't let me present? But just drop me a little line if you can see my screen. Right. So we're having a little, I don't know, technical issues. Okay. I lost you guys for a second. I think that might have been a bit of a technical glitch. Just please confirm you can all hear and see me again. Okay. If you could just drop in the chat if you can hear and see me, that would be great. Yeah, okay, you can hear me, right, good. Yeah, so I think I think there's something up with the internet. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so let's start this again. So yeah, as I was saying, guys, before it got cut off, I did want to touch a little bit on what's going on because it's timely, and I think like everybody else, I'm just like, I am kind of sick of hearing about this coronavirus. But I think it's relevant because most people are panicking, and most people are I won't say blowing it out of proportion, because yes, it's a threat, but I like to look at the data. Data doesn't lie. Data really, it is what it is, right? And I just wanted to point something out that, okay, let me just get my screen up. Whilst, yes, this is an issue, and whilst, yes, it's something that could affect, and I will say will affect, and this is why we have to do what we can to do to protect ourselves. So yes, this is a new virus that is going around. The total cases right now, 334,000. There's been 14,000 deaths. But if we look at this big number here, there's about 90,000, 97,000 who have recovered. In terms of the active cases, there's 222,000. We've closed 122,000. So 87% of the people have recovered that have had this virus, Yes, we're seeing exponential growth. And this is the thing that probably is a little bit concerning, because when you see an exponential growth curve, as you're seeing here, it doubles like every so often. And this is why we are doing this lockdown, because it's going to prevent this linear curve going up and up and up and up and up. So I think the most important thing to remember, guys, is to not be afraid. And why I'm sharing this is to just give you the data, to remind you, like, there's nothing to really be afraid of right now. And in fact, it's almost like the best time, because when I say the best time, a good time, because a lot of things are going to change, and I think a lot of things need to change, and it doesn't necessarily mean the change is going to be bad. It just means the change is going to be different. And your biggest thing is, how do you adapt to the new change? Yes, how do you adapt if now you can't, for this period, put on live events? Okay, sorry, 2 more people coming in. Just got to let these people in. Welcome, guys, if you're just joining. Nice to have you. Nice. So yeah, as I was saying, guys, it's like we have to look at this from a new perspective, right? Everything's about perspective. And the moment you shift your focus off the fear, the more you can actually see an opportunity. And I sometimes feel a bit weird, like talking like, oh, opportunity in the midst of a crisis, but it is true. Like, some of the biggest companies grew from depressions and recessions, and some of the big co-ops that were founded when people couldn't buy and sell were formed, communities were formed, groups. So this is a time, I think, from great solidarity and movements for people to come together and for the people to actually take some level of power and accountability into their own hands. And those people who do that are the ones who are going to thrive and actually grow in these times. And so I believe everyone that's on here is one of those people, because you wouldn't have taken action to be here if you were just a sitting duck just waiting for the world to fall down. You're actually being proactive in figuring out a way to actually learn something that could help you in the future, and I hope it does. So who is this briefing for? So you're a consultant, trainer, speaker, teacher, therapist, healer, or service provider, and you're not growing your business online and need to now. So there is a lot of people who have done their business offline, and they have delivered their services offline, and they have found their clients offline. And now, because we're on this semi-lockdown or whatever you want to call it, now you are going to have to integrate into knowing the strategy and the process of now how to deliver value online and how to get customers. So remember, an online business is about delivering digitally and selling digitally and marketing digitally. Okay, so you've got kind of like 3 things you need to be doing. And I'm going to be teaching you about the crux, because for me, business is about cash. You know, we've got to be making that money. And how do you make that money? By providing value. So we're going to go into that a little bit later. But who is this for as well? So your business is already online. So there's some people that are already doing bits online, but you're just not getting enough clients and business opportunities online. So you're there and you know, you may be doing a bit of social media, you may be running even some ads, or you may have got the basics, but you're not really getting the results that you really need. Like, you're not getting clients, no one's really listening to you, you're not booking sales calls, nobody's buying your products, nobody wants to work with you, or not that nobody wants to work with you, some people don't even know you exist to work with. So you're just not making that money online. And this is the biggest problem most people have. You're online, but you're actually not using it effectively to get people to buy from you. And this is what we're going to be covering today. Third person is, maybe you're in a job, but now want to learn how to start and grow a profitable business online. And this is, again, a way you can kind of understand the system and dynamics of what people like myself and other people that I work with are doing every single day, making tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds, sometimes a month. I'm not there yet. But people that I work with are making like 300 grand, 400 grand a month. Some people are doing even $1 million a month just through like online stuff, digital products, and selling online. The market's anticipated to reach 300 billion. So the e-learning and education market and the digital market and online business like space is going to reach 300 billion. That's a lot of money, guys. There's a gold mine sat on us, and it's already at about 170 billion now. So that's how much people are spending on learning learning new things, you know, hiring coaches, hiring healers, trainers, therapists, and trainers, and all sorts of people, you know, doing digital services. It's a big market. So, you know, if you're really looking to go into or leverage this, then you really need to understand how it's done. And unfortunately, like a lot of things, you know, I mean, it took me some years to kind of master this, and I'm still mastering it, but I've still managed to get results and repeated results for me and my clients. And, you know, and one of the things you'll learn about me is I really like to, I'm like a Steve Jobs. I really like things to be simple. I think less is more. I really believe in, you know, some people that think you have to have a fancy website. I don't even have a website. Well, I do have a website that's been rebranded, but I haven't had an updated website for a long time, but I still sell. People still buy from me. I still have products. And I sold even out my first launch with just a PDF. So for people who think you need like all these big fancy funnels, yes, they help and whatnot. To start, you really don't. You just need to understand the strategy. Right. So you're going to really leave this webinar or this briefing knowing how to start or scale your business online to 6 figures and beyond, even in uncertain economic times. And I think this is what people want to know, is how do I actually really make money? Not £100 here for like, really make money online. And for those consultants and coaches and teachers who are here, so we've got more people coming in, you know, for those teachers and consultants and people, even if you're not one of those, I'm going to give you some tips, because there's a lot of people who, you're afraid of money. I think a lot of people are afraid of money, and that's more of a mental thing, and I help people overcome that, because that's the biggest challenge that I have. So I want to just share my story and how I got here. So a few years ago, I actually worked as a corporate contractor. I worked in the finance world, a big, nice, well, I say nice, it was horrid, but I was in the financial world, and I worked, well, I was contracted. I used to contract a lot for a lot of these wealth management firms, investment firms, financiers, and after working really hard, I landed a really lucrative contract. It was worth over 100,000 a year. I had my own office in Canary Wharf. I was head of acquisitions for a large pension company that was doing large acquisitions around the country, and it was good. You know, I worked really hard to get to this level in my freelance, well, I say freelance contracting consultancy work, and it was great until, lo and behold, the company decided that they had some issues and they had to leave the country. And it was either me going to Dubai, which I didn't want to do at the time, and me staying. And also I had a daughter, my teenage daughter, and she was going through some issues. So a lot of things were just going on, which made me just decide that I'm just going to exit. And I want to stay at home, and I want to be with my family. I want to be with my child. I want to, you know, I'm going to have to take this time out, because I had spent so much time being this busy career woman that I had neglected the really important things, which was my family and, you know, being there. And I had a lot of guilt and, you know, a lot of conflict. But it is almost like when you're a single mom and you've got to provide for your family and keep a roof over your head, you have to work, right? But I had to make a big choice between, you know, going to Dubai and following my career and going, or actually just being just for that moment, just being a mom and being there for my child. And so I chose the latter, but it left me in a state where, you know, after a couple of months, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how I was going to make it work. And then I discovered Bitcoin, and I was just at home a lot because I didn't have nothing to do. So I started speaking about it online. And eventually, you know, probably some of you on this call remember me from those days back in like 2016, 2017. And I just get on social media, unconscious of what I was doing, really, just talking about something I was really passionate about. And then it just kind of snowballed, and then people started inviting me to radios, and then I went on like these speaking events, and then it just kind of snowballed. So I ended up, because people were asking me a lot, I ended up building this course, and I ended up teaching people about how to buy Bitcoin, and I made like 97,000 or something like 95,000 pounds in 7 months just from sitting at home. Well, it was one course. So that was kind of how I got into this. And, you know, if I can go from literally nothing to earning 6 figures in 7 months online, so can you. And I know my story is a bit like, you know, yeah, I kind of did fall into this whole internet marketing thing, because I was just like most people. I only use social media to like keep in touch with my friends and just share stuff. And I didn't really network. I used to get my clients through referrals and networking, but the moment I just gave it all up, I didn't have that luxury anymore. And the reason why I got into Bitcoin was just because I just found it so interesting. Like, it was the most phenomenal thing I've ever found. And for those of you who don't really understand it, you've got to read the Bitcoin white paper. Once you read Satoshi's white paper, you might get it, but we won't go there. But yeah, so I mean, that was my first major success. And then I've gone on to repeat that formula over and over and over again. I've run webinars where I've made £20,000, £10,000, you know. So I have a system that anytime I follow this formula, and also my clients, they're able to get the same results. So I see it as a science now. And this was exactly what I was taught by my mentors. So who is Lady Victoria? Now, I am officially a lady, as much as I don't look like one. I am a lady, and everyone asks me this question, so I have to like tell you. So when I was working in finance, I met he was actually a client, and he was just absolutely the most amazing man. And he was actually he was, there are people who can like, they write trust, and he can do certain things anyway, like a legal, I can't remember what it's called, a notary. He was a notary in something else. But anyway, he had these title deeds that he could write out and legally create like titles of nobility. So he gave me one as a gift for my hard work. We did a lot of projects together and we did really well. And so he just gave me a lady title and I just liked it, so I kept it. So anyway, I'm a digital business strategist, and that's really what I am. That's what I do. Strategy is all about knowing like how to go from A to Z and all the in-betweens. And the way my brain works, I've always from a child, I liked playing chess. I liked playing strategy games. I was the sim queen. You know, when it comes to strategy, that was just my thing. I just always enjoyed just strategy, anything strategy. So that's why I become a digital strategist, because I figured out a formula and a strategy that works. And so I'm a transformational teacher as well, which is a lot about helping people actually transform how they think. Because to be honest, a lot of people's problem isn't money. It's more than that. It's the deeper ideas and the deeper belief systems and the deeper fears and thoughts and beliefs and parenting and conditioning, and and especially for like people of color, people from foreigners, deprived backgrounds, from all people, but particularly people of color do tend to have an issue and a bad relationship with money, and it shows up in their business. It shows up in their own finance, shows up in their relationship, and it's like your relationship. And I have a lovely lady on here actually, and she's going to be doing some work with me because she's very, very amazing around like, especially the ability for people to receive and being comfortable to say like, this is how much value I give. So as my transformational teaching work goes on and what I do with clients that I work with, a lot of it, if they're not in this space, is around removing the beliefs that they have that they're not worth what they're saying, or they're not worthy enough to receive more money, or they're not good enough to show up, or they're not good enough to charge. And once you get over that block, and once you start to really show up powerfully with your work, you can do a lot. And that's a lot of I think 90% of my work isn't much, well, the strategy is just 10%, because what I find is that people who do the strategy without the mindset work sabotage it anyway, or they don't actually take action, or they don't, because there's deeper stuff stopping them. So I really am big on the transformational teaching, and I'm a certified flow consultant. So flow consultant is someone who helps people understand their unique path to flow and alignment. Flow is very important, because when you're out of flow, and a lot of people do this within their businesses, which is why I teach a lot on how to build teams and how to scale your business, because a lot of people do stuff in their business that drains them. They do things that, it's a struggle, it's a drain, they don't feel alive, they don't feel happy. And when you do things in your business that is not natural to you, or that feels good, it's going to drain you and you're not going to perform well. So I find what people are good at, what naturally feels nice to them, and I help them position themselves in their business or a business where they can do what they're good at, what they love, what they feel like they enjoy, and get into flow. And flow is really about, you see, like if you're doing something that's either, and this is what happens to a lot of people in jobs, so you're in a job but it's just so boring, you're not being challenged or stretched, so you're just bored. And because you're not being stretched, or you're not being challenged, or you're not being given things that really, get your brain working, you become bored and you hate your job. Or there's the other aspect, or even in business, where it's high stress because, it's too stressful. You're kind of out of your comfort zone, and it's not stretching you, it's stressing you. Flow is like the sweet spot in between. So it's a little bit challenging, but not too challenging. And it's exciting, but not too boring, but not too out there. So it's like a sweet spot, and it's where you get into flow, where you like it doesn't challenge you too much, you're good at it, so you do it more, and you just become better and better and better at it. And that is what I like to get people into, flow. It's the sweetest spot you can be in when you do anything, so that's what I help people do. Okay, so this is like something I want everyone to know, because I think it's important that you understand who I am and what I stand for. And I really stand for the social and economic power of humanity. You know, I've seen a lot of suffering, and I've seen a lot of people go through. There's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of inequality, there's a lot of things in our world that are just messed up. And I've always, because I've worked in the financial system, I always believe that the current financial system has caused more problems than it's solved, by depriving the people at the, well, I say the people at the bottom, depriving the masses, and having this massive control and influence and unfair distribution systems, that it doesn't need to be like that in this world. You know, there's enough food, there's enough things to go around. But when we have this monopolization and this greed and this power control, it causes a lot of problems. And this is what we've seen. So I believe social entrepreneurship is the only way to legacy, impact, and financial freedom. And I'm big on social entrepreneurship because I feel like, you know, it's all great having money, but what do you want to do with it, you know? And I feel like once you've earned a certain amount, and you've got the car, you live in the house you like, you've been on the holidays, what more do you bought the clothes you want, what more do you want? And most people, most normal, well, I say normal, but most people with a bit of empathy or a bit of heart actually want to help people. They want to alleviate suffering in the world. And so this is why my mission is to bring as many people into financial and economic power, so they can go out into the world and help people. They can go out into the world and set up new foundations or new projects, or run social enterprises. So my business, I have an agency, and part of what we do is we hire women from developing countries and train them in digital marketing. And we give them work, and we're helping people in developing countries use technology to alleviate and help themselves out of poverty. So I hope you guys can take some stuff away, or if we work together, you'll be on a path to create more money so you can make more of a difference in the world. So people, let's get started, let's get into it. And welcome for those who have just joined. So guys, as I mentioned before, we are living in the most unprecedented time in history. And I don't really think I need to elaborate on this, but I do think we need to just be cognized to the implications of what is going on, and what has been going on. But obviously it's come to a full-on because we have a virus conveniently flying around that has put most countries, if not all, on lockdown. And so what does that mean to us? So what it means, first and foremost, is that a lot of people are going to be out of work. You know, a lot of people are going to be out of work, worried and afraid. There's going to be a lot of businesses that, if they don't follow my advice, but no, if they don't get out of the worry and fear and start to actually stand up as business leaders and really learn how to literally change their model. And a lot of businesses will not be able to do this, I'll be honest, because what happens with a lot of businesses, especially the bigger players, is that they get really comfortable, and they tend to thrive and grow in predictable and stable markets. That is what's got them to where they are. They have a system, they have things that, you know, they've always done it that way, they've always worked that way. And then one day things change, and their winning formula, what made them win, it flips itself in the head. And often it's too late for them to really even try and change, because they've just missed that opportunity. So the people who survive now and who will thrive must adapt to the new way of living. And the new way of living, guys, unfortunately, right now is going to be a partial lockdown, social distancing, at the minute, no, you know, grouping together in large crowds, and you, to be truthful, we don't know how long this is going to last for. We don't know if this is going to be a permanent thing, God forbid, but we might, you know, we don't know if this is going to happen between every flu season for them. We don't know. And so I think everybody kind of needs to be preparing themselves for, if this is the case, I'm going to have to really be thinking digital. Everything I do digital, all my products digital. But how do I create these frameworks? How do I create mastermind? How do I create products? How do I, like, and that's the thing, that if you can learn this, and not only learn it, but help other people solve this problem in this climate, you will do very, very well, because this is what everybody's going to need, because most people are going to be in the same predicament. Okay. So I want to just give you an example. So who in the group I don't know how old everyone is, but who remembers Blockbuster? And I just want you to just, everyone's a bit quiet, and I don't mind you lot talking, but you can put in the chat or whatever, who actually remembers Blockbuster? So who says they do? Nick raised his hand. Oh, Tony Harrison's coming in. Hey, Tony, welcome. Remember them, right? So I want to tell you a little story. I actually might need to get some of this data up. Okay, so Blockbuster, as everybody remembers, Blockbuster was the biggest. Like Blockbuster had like over 9,000 stores. They had over like 60,000 employees. Like Blockbuster was big. Like they were and it came to DVDs and everything, Blockbuster was big. And back in 2000, and I think it was 2001, Netflix approached, so Netflix actually was kind of, back then, Netflix didn't do online streaming. Netflix, they did postal DVDs. That was their business model back then. And they were really struggling. Like Netflix was about to go bust. That was how bad, like the business was struggling. They wasn't really making much traction. So then, because they were like really struggling, but they also saw that the market was changing a little bit after like the dot-com boom in 2000, they decided that they wanted to do online streaming. And they approached Blockbuster to buy them out for 50 million. And I think the head was Antonio, I can't remember his name, Antonio something anyway, was the head of Blockbuster at that. And it was a guy called Reed at the time, was the CEO of Netflix. And he got laughed out of the room, guys. Like, they was like, no, who's gonna watch DVDs online? Who's gonna stream? Anyways, by 2007, right? So remember, they offered Blockbuster 50 million. By 2007, Blockbuster was in $1.1 billion debt. They had to close like all their stores. Netflix, by a few years later, was worth 19 billion. 19 billion, guys. So Blockbuster ended up being bust, went out of business, and now Nicholas has grew up on Blockbuster, exactly. But can you see, guys, like, so a company that was like the biggest, like, stores global company gets taken over by this little startup because Netflix saw that the trend was going online, and now they're a multi-billion-dollar company. So this is what happens a lot, guys, and this is what people do. Like, this is what people do. It's like they see that the market's changing, but because they're comfortable, because that's what Blockbuster did. They had a predictable model. It had worked for the last 10, 20 years for them, or however long they've been. It worked. Why am I going to need to change? This system changes. I mean, this system works. When they decided to change, it was too late because the smaller little baby rival was already dominating that space. And so this is how you need to be thinking, because there's a lot of people, a lot of coaches, a lot of leaders, a lot of people online, like, all out there, that this market, they may not be as visible. One, because they've made all their money and now they think it's time to just chill and relax, because that's what some people do. Or secondly, they just might have got too comfortable with their predictability of doing things and just might not have the energy to want to change and do anything. So a lot of people do exit the market in these phases because they've done well in the last 5 years or 10 years. They've made their money. Now they just think, oh, well, it's too much to, change all my products, change all this, change all my funnels. We don't know if it's going to work. So what you find is that a lot of the bigger players end up leaving the market because they just can't keep up. They can't change quick enough, or they don't want to. And then what it leaves is a massive wave of opportunity for newer players in the market to come and show up. And this is where we are right now. So you do have two choices, really. You can stay doing things the old method and the old way and the things that you've always done and how you've always done it, or you can create a new possibility in a new strategy, in a new way that I'm telling you is going to blow your mind. I mean, guys, I went from working literally 12 hours a day pretty much, leaving my house at 6 o'clock in the morning to going to Canary Wharf, to sit in an office, to listen to people talk boring nonsense, to do all paperwork, driving up like for 100 grand. When I made that, I made one course, and I sat in my house and I would just get alerts on my phone. Payment. Every day I'd just draw out what I needed. It was like the best thing I'd ever had. So, but if I'd have stayed in the old world, I would have never known this new world. And that's what I want to share with you guys. If you stay where you are and at least don't try the possibility of a new possibility, then you're just never going to know what could work. And I'll be honest, I came into this world, I hated social media. I wasn't a big fan of it, not that I was a big, but it just was like, in fact, it took me so long. I was like one of the last of my friends to get on Facebook. Like, I was the last person. They was all on it from like 2005. I was like, I'm happy with MySpace. So I'm one of those people that I don't like change, but I realized that in order to grow, you've got to adopt change. And I do believe that the future that you want is on the other side of doing what you haven't done before. That's the biggest thing that I've learned. And this is why I continue to grow. So the common mistake people make when doing business online is that they don't have a strong marketing strategy. So let's just get to the crux of this, guys. Like, your business, let's just simplify it, because people complicate business and make it like it's, some magic science and magic sauce. It's not. It's simple. What problem do you solve for people, and how do they know about it so they can buy it? That's it. There is nothing more. What problem do you solve? And how do people know you solve that problem? Do they trust that you can solve that problem? If they do, they'll buy from you. It's as simple as that. And social media and the internet make it a lot easier for us to reach millions. Like, there's 2 billion people on Facebook right now. I just ran a campaign. We reached maybe about 100,000 people in the last week. We had I think we've had maybe about 300 people sign up so far. You can exponentiate, and that's why I don't want people to like fear technology or fear. It's not to be feared, it's to be embraced, because it can do a hell of a lot more. Like, could you reach 100,000 people in 2 weeks on your own and speak to 100,000 people and share what you do and actually get them to sign up? Right. So what people don't have is the strategy. And it's funny because it's like, in everything that we do, like, for example, if you're going to drive a car, you need to find a driving instructor who's going to teach you so you don't crash and hurt yourself and somebody else, right? But have you found it strange that we don't have a school? Well, we do, but, well, no, we don't, but we're not taught, or there is schools, but it's not very widely, publicized that in order to start a business, you may need to actually, go to a school to learn so you don't crash and kill yourself, because a lot of people go bust in business and they can lose everything. And so I believe that there should be a license to actually start doing business, because it can have such a bad impact if you fail. People lose their homes, their whole life savings, because they were not taught how to fly or how to drive or how to do a business. And so this is what I'm teaching you guys, how to do a business online. It's very much like you need to learn the gears, the road. You need to know what the terrain is. You need to know, so that when you drive in the online world, you don't crash or lose money. So I think it's really important. So guys, you need to have a strategy and system that brings in constant leads. Business online is about products, people buying it. Most of you, or some of you, should or may have a product. Either you're a coach, consultant, teacher, something, or have a product, whatever that is, or a business. If you don't, it's fine. You can look at that. But once you have a business product, use like marriage, product, client. People think making money is rocket science. It's not. Sell more, make more money. Simple as that. Have a good product, people buy. More people know about it, more people buy. Simple as that. We don't need to complicate making a lot of money, especially online. It is very simple, guys. And I really want you guys to really feel into that it's not hard. It's not simple. It's not overcomplicated. You don't have to overcomplicate it. You just need two main ideas. I need something really good to sell that gets people results and actually delivers on what it says. I need people to buy it. And what I'm going to show you is the strategy and how to get people to buy it. So we're just going to look at traditional marketing, because I think we all, including myself, came from this day where, you know, you went networking. Even though I love networking, and I'm so disappointed I can't do it anymore because I love networking. But, you know, you went networking, or you cold called people. I grew up in cold calling. I built my whole first business cold calling, and I built a lot of other people's businesses cold calling. I probably I still cold call because I love it. And also it's about, yes, you can do internet, and internet's great, but there are some people that are just not on the internet. You need to find them. So in that aspect, but we're talking about finding people on the internet. So you're not going to probably cold call for that. You know, face-to-face meetings, exhibitions. So as you can see, a lot of these things are facts no one even uses. Who remembers facts? Oh my God. Newspapers, nobody really reads them. TV, who watches that? We're all on YouTube or Netflix. I haven't watched TV in about 8 years. You know, so this is like the old method, which I think a lot of people grew up on in marketing. If you did know anything about marketing, or if you were in business, you know, these are the strategies you would have been taught in uni or in school, and, you know, these things. But it's all changed. Now we're into the world of the cloud, the digital. I like the little cloud, the digital marketing, which is SEO, which is search engine optimization. So keywords so people can find when they're searching online, they can find you. Social media, which is my number one thing because it's what's grown my business. And I never really realized how much social media was growing my business until I got my Facebook locked off. But anyway, social media, content. And guys, I want to touch on that because content, people do not understand the importance of what you share and how you're actually influencing people to either like you or hate you or love you, want to buy from you, not want to. So I'm very particular about content. And for those of you maybe following my social media, you probably know I write quite long posts. I do put a lot of thought into what I'm writing, but there's a reason why, and I'm going to share that with you, because it's actually what makes people or helps people understand the power of what I do. So, and I want you guys to understand that strategy behind why I post the way I do, why I post what I post. And so maybe you can start doing some of that as well. Then you can start, you know, using these techniques for your own business. Pay per click. Love this because, you know, this is where I get my leads in autopilot. So I've got ads running right now, and I'll still get leads. I'll get leads in all day, every day, new opportunities, new business. And this is something that a lot of people are not doing, and this is why their businesses isn't growing, because you're not getting new leads every day consistently. You're not closing these leads to actually make sales so you can grow your business. And then you've got search engine, what was this, SEM, search engine marketing, that's it. So it's a way to like backlink, and it's a more of a techie thing. It's something I don't really do. I'm not a big SEO person because I'm not really found through organic. Maybe something I'll go into, but that is not my expertise. But there are SEO experts that I work with and know. I'm more video, social media content, and pay per click. Those are like my remits. But for those of you who have websites and blogs, SEO and SEM are really important for that. And then video, mobile, tablet. So just making sure everything's mobile friendly. But when you're on social media, it's all mobile friendly. So guys, point about content and social media, you need to stop avoiding or misusing social media. You don't understand the power and influence that you have from just the audience that you have on social media. And you're probably sat on easily £50,000 or more worth of business just on your social media, but you don't have the strategy on how to move them from somebody who likes what you say to somebody who likes you to somebody who actually wants to work with you to somebody who buys from you. And that's the strategy. And it's a mixture of psychology, it's a mixture of business strategy, but it's all about how you show up and what you show up with. And so if you're not consistently showing up with really good value, you know, sharing with people what you know and how that can solve their biggest problem. And first and foremost, do you even know what their biggest problem is? Because a lot of people aren't sharing content to their audience because they're not really aware of what their audience's issues is at that moment in time. And if you've got a product, a product that's valuable, because value is what people see. If somebody said to me, right, V, right, so one of my biggest challenges right now is that I'm struggling to hire like really good people. I get people, but they're just not, work. They don't give me stuff on time. So it's like, it's the struggle. So somebody said to me, someone on my Facebook saying, I can show you how to hire the best talent in under 30 days without having to interview a million people. If I saw that, that would attract me because that's my problem right now. And if anyone can solve that problem, I'm interested, so what your job is to do is to speak to people's problems. What is their problem? And this is what I think a lot of businesses are not doing, is that you're not solving a big enough problem. Because there's somebody with that kind of problem that if somebody said, all right, then it's going to cost you X amount £1,000 or whatever. Okay, maybe I won't spend that. Well, I don't know. Depends on how good the talent was. But there are people that will spend the money because they don't have the time. Once you've got a bit of money, time becomes your most important thing, right? So you've got people who potentially have money but no time, and you can solve some problems for them, but they don't know that. So you're just never going to make that transaction or sale, right? So you need to start avoiding and misusing social media. So this is like the key, like there's pillars. Everything that we do, there's like, rules to the game, there's always rules to the game. So the rules to the game for social media is you've got to build trust and authority. So how do you do that though? The trust is built by authenticity, right? People trust people who are real. One of the reasons why I know a lot of people gravitate to me, and even on my last course, they would tell me, is because I was very open about my failures. I've been very open about my past, like the things that I've been through that I've had to overcome. And what that did is it made people relate to me a little bit more. It made them see me as just a normal human being, not some poncy, even though I have a lady title and it just looks really bougie, but I'm not. I'm real. And I think what it did, and I wasn't even conscious of this until like after, and spoke to different marketers, but what it does is once you're authentic and vulnerable, and not a hot mess vulnerable, but eloquently vulnerable, sharing your failures, sharing your strength, sharing parts of you that make people feel like they know you a little bit better. When people feel they know you, they like you. And when people like you, they tend to trust you. And when people trust you, they'll buy from you. So you've got to do it from a genuine place. Like, you've got to really want to connect with people, and you've got to really be willing to share parts of yourself, because a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people want to wear a mask and pretend that, oh, I have this perfect life, and oh, I do this, and oh, I do that, and look at me, I'm the best. And nobody wants to see that. Like, people are tired of that message. People are tired of the, oh, you can make £100,000 in 6 hours with me. Like, people don't buy into it. People don't care. And people want to deal with real people who are genuine, authentic, and that they feel they like and trust. So you've got to be authentic, and you've got to show people that, I'm like you, and I'm not perfect, but I'm very good at this, and I can help you if you want it. And then authority. So authority, in order to build authority, you've kind of got to share what you know, or, share your results that you get with your clients. And I always try and do a post, at least one post a week, of the results that I've had that week, so that people can see, oh, well, she doesn't just write about, interesting stories. I'm sharing about how I got these results and what we did and why we did it. And, I'll share about my failures, what I learned. And this is when you're building a good content strategy for social media. It's like you want all these elements. You want an element of your personality and your stories. You want an element of your successes and the results that you get from people. And then you also want an element of a little bit of like your values and your beliefs and what you stand for, because people gravitate to people who share similar values, similar belief systems, similar hopes and aspirations. And that's what you want, because you want to magnetize people who share similar value, and you want to repel people who don't. And that's why I tend to attract clients who I vibes with, like, because they're reading my stuff and it's like, they feel me, and it's like you attract what you call your soulmate clients, because you're feeling each other on a soul level. You know, being authentic means being almost bare. You know, it's bearing your soul, and that's what you want to attract, people who connect with you from the heart, right? You got to show your authority. What have you done? How do you know it? What's your experience? Blah blah blah. Then sharing the value of your work. So this is like, nobody's gonna know you can do something for them unless you share it. It's like, ta-da, like a lot of coaches and people like, oh, I'm not getting enough leads and nobody calls me. How do people know you can help them? When was the last time you shared about what? And a lot of people feel funny about this because like, oh, I don't want to brag. Oh, I don't want to, show off. I don't want to tell my business. You run a business. That's your job. You have to share your business all the time, every day. You got to share what you do all the time, every day, in a powerful way. And you're going to show the value of your work. And the value of your work isn't how much it costs. It's the value of the results that you get. And this is what took my business from, I used to charge like really low for my courses to like 4 and 5 figures and upwards, because it's like, if you can show someone how to make 100 grand in the next 6 months, then definitely I'm going to be charging you 10, 15 grand or more to show you that. And somebody with that money is going to invest it because it's valuable to them. If they can trust and know that I can actually get these results, paying me 15 grand to make 100 grand is a small ask. And that's what you guys need to understand. To get to the bigger numbers, you've got to create bigger value, offer more, and then share this value by sharing the results you're getting for people. Then you need to speak the exact pain point. People are suffering right now, emotionally, mentally, especially, emotionally and mentally, especially, and financially, but it first starts emotionally and mentally. So you've got to speak to the emotional pain. And this is why I just feel like therapists and I know I keep talking about these guys, because if you're a coach, therapist, healer, somebody like that on this call, you guys are what the world needs right now. But the challenge that a lot of therapists and healers and people like this who are consultants, your work is kind of intangible. It's not like you're selling a phone where it's like, oh, here's the phone, check. It's intangible. But this is why social media and like web pages and online stuff help you. If you can create the right content, the right words are very powerful. They're called spelling is spell, because words create. I can tell somebody a horrible word and they'll feel bad all day. I've created an emotional effect just by my words. There's children that were told they were ugly from 9 years old and still go out and act in the world like they're ugly and they could be the most beautiful. Words are so powerful. So you've got to learn how to structure words in a way that actually move people. And that was one of my gifts that I learned. Out of everything that I teach you, all the strategy, I'll tell you the one pillar to my success is words. That's why I write a lot of them, guys, because words are what move people inside. Words are what inspire people to take action. And if you're not saying the right words to motivate someone to act, if you can't do that well, you won't do well online. Like it's 90% of the work, the words. But a lot of people won't tell you that. They'll say, oh yeah, just, spend 200 grand on ads and get this website, because they want to sell you the website. They want to say, but I'm telling you, I've done all of this with no website, no nothing, just a few posts on social media. I get people on a call. A few, I run more ads for my clients than I do for myself. I don't need to run ads. I built a list. I have a database. I have people. Whenever, I have something to offer, I show up and people want to work. But it's because of the words that I speak. You got to speak life into people. You got to know their pain. They got to know that you understand them, their pain, and that you can actually help them, because it's not about just saying things. It's about doing it as well. And then you got to keep inviting people to work with you. Again, a lot of people don't do this. They will share the best content, but they don't say, let's jump in a call. Let's have a meeting on a webinar. You can't make sales business or sales in business often without conversation. So invite people into a conversation. Okay, let me speed this up a little bit because I'll talk for England, guys. So second thing, in terms of building an online business, and I think this is really important if you want to get to cash quick. You want to make money quickly. You're not for the slow burn. You're like, I want 50 grand in my bank in the next 3 months kind of vibe, or in the next month kind of vibe. If you want to do this, and if this is your goal, you have to stop promoting low value offers and products and services. So if you're coming at less than like £1,000 or £500 for your offer, I mean, I'm not saying you can't sell it, because I sell low ticket offers, but I don't invest into it. It's what I offer people, who maybe can't afford some of the higher ticket stuff, but I still want to help them. But it's not what I promote, because one, I can't give a person the level of result and value if I do it at a low price. You'll end up burnt out, overstressed, and you won't give them the good results. But when you've been handsomely paid and nourished, you can hire the best people for the work. You've got the luxury. You can spend more time with that person. And I think, if you're going to do products, and a lot of people think, oh, what am I going to sell? We'll get to that in a bit. But most of the players that are doing this online business thing, that are like really doing it, really, offering services. Maybe as I said, I'm going into why I keep mentioning coaching, consultant, because it's what you can sell online. It's like there's always someone looking for someone to support them and help them. That will never go out, and it's something you could just start up tomorrow. No, you don't have to be qualified. Well, you obviously have to know how to coach and help people and support people, but people are going to be looking for more people to help them, and you could just be the right person. I believe that there's like every teacher, healer, and especially women, because this is like no disrespect to you men, because I love you all too, but I know there's a lot of women, but our natural gift is nurturing, and men too. Everyone has the feminine energy. So I'm going to say all people have the energy of nurturing and caring and supporting and helping people grow. And right now, that's what a lot of people want to do. So if you can do this and you're doing this, you've got to stop doing low, £100 an hour, low rates, because you have to charge people for the transformation that you create. And the bigger the transformation, the more people are willing to pay. Right? So you need to stop offering like £100 things, low value things. Stop selling to people who don't want to invest into paying for results. And that's another thing. If you're going to market online and you want to build a really good brand and a really good business and be divinely compensated and really nourished, is you've got to stop speaking to people who aren't able to invest or aren't willing to invest. And I know some people feel guilty, like, oh, well, how am I meant to serve the world and how am I meant to help people? You do that once you make money. You create lower ticket products. But you've got to be nourishly rich and empowered before you can actually nourishly rich and empower other people. I do believe that. You've got to feel comfortable serving yourself and helping yourself before you can start serving. And I think a lot of people, what in business that they do is that they feel like they've got to like serve or sell to people who are at the same level of them or lower, never higher. Like all my clients are richer than me, but just because they're richer than me or have more money than me doesn't mean I can't solve their problems. So I'm always attracting more affluent clients, or I'm always going for more affluent clients or higher ticket clients who can afford to pay me what I deserve, because I'm good at what I do, but also what I need. Because me serving the lower level, and I will tell you, people who spend less often want more. They want more of your time, that because they're in so much scarcity. If they spend £500 or they're like, oh my God, it's like, whereas somebody who's like in abundance mindset, they can chuck 5,000. Like honestly, my highest spending clients give me the least headache. And the clients that I've kind of done discounts or like, which I don't even do, like maybe somebody I know, they just calling me every day. They're just so, in fact, to points where at the moment I have one where I'm just going to refund their money, because it's just the time of draining me to ask me questions and to what's going, they're so tied to that money because their energy is like scarcity. And so I'd rather you choose abundant people who are abundant, and, you know, and I know, yes, people are going to be like not as freely spending, but they're definitely going to be spending. So it's so important to try and attract people who are abundant thinkers, who are already living in abundance, who are not in scarcity, who are not in struggle. I'm not saying you don't help these people, but if you're trying to get out of that position, you need to start working with people in a higher position or who can afford you. Really important. And again, a lot of people get stuck on this. They can't see their worth or value on what they do to help somebody at a higher level. But it's important that you do. So let's just look at some numbers. So if you charge £100 per hour, you need to work 1,000 hours to get 100 grand, guys. But if you had 500 per client, you need 200 clients per year. For 1,000, you need sorry, that's wrong. For 1,000, you would need, it should be 100 clients a year to get to 100 grand. To get to 100 grand, if a client was paying you 3,000 per year, you would need just 33 clients. And to get to 100 grand, if you're charging 5,000, you'd only need 20 people a year to work with you. And at the highest ticket, if you were offering something at 10 grand, you just need 10 people. Literally just 10 people a year. And this is why it's much easier when you're marketing online, especially when you're marketing to a global audience. I tell you, most of my clients, well, a lot of my clients don't even live in this country. I have people from Africa, I have people from the US, I have people from God knows where, you know, and everyone's got a different bank balance. Not everybody's broke, especially in developing. You'd be so surprised that in developing nations, there's people with abundance, but they need like the knowledge and the skills that we have over here. So when you're going online, your business becomes global. You're not just selling to people. Most of my people do not come from the UK. Most of the people that pay me good money do not come. Okay, bar a few. They're from abroad. So this is what you need to be thinking of. What if you could just get 10 people to pay you 10 grand a month? What could you offer to give you 10 grand a month to get you to your 100K? Okay. And guys, you can do this. This is not, I'm honestly, what I'm sharing with you is not rocket science. It's just a strategy. And I'm not going to say it's the simplest thing to do. And I think the biggest challenges is actually getting over your own mental blocks and just doing what you need to do. That was my hardest challenge. I had all the tools, and I think there was a resistance in me for a little while because I think also, I will say, so when I had my big land windfall and I made all this money, and I was scared, not scared, but there was this internal, because I was like, oh my God, all this money, what am I going to do? And a lot of it I had in cryptocurrency as well. I kept it in cryptocurrency because I was scared that if I took it out of crypto, I'm going to have to pay tax. They're going to take 40% of my money. And I was kind of like in fear, weirdly enough. It's like I was getting the money and I didn't want to let it go. And that was because I was still in scarcity mode. And what happened is I lost like 80, if not more. The crypto market went down. So the value just dropped. Then some of the, it was just a hot nightmare. It was a hot mess. And I really learned a lot from that. And so why I share that with you guys is because I just want to remind you, it's so important, the mindset to get out of the scarcity, because even if you make this money, you could potentially sabotage it, or you'll block it. You will block it, right? So guys, this starts down to people who see the value in the investment and can make a great return on investment. People value what benefits they're going to get. What is the return on investment? So if you're selling something and you can't quantify the return on investment doesn't have to be monetary. For example, a relationship coach, even a health coach could be like, if you work with me and, you lose the 20 pounds and you're back into full health and your stress levels go down and you no longer have diabetes or whatever, the end result cost isn't what they're charging, but the value. Now that value to that man, he could end up, living longer, which you couldn't put a price on that. He's more happier in his marriage because he's healthier and he feels better. So his family are all like happy. So he's saved his marriage through doing this. He no longer has the doctor bills that he has to pay, which would, if you're in the US, could run up to 230. So when you like calculate all the value, that value there could be well over like £500,000 if you really wanted to put it that. If you really quantified the results of you transforming someone from being unhealthy to healthy, or from being in a poor relationship to a good relationship. A woman, again, somebody could go get a dating coach, or somebody who helps them or supports them through finding a new partner. Now they've got, you know, they've moved into their dream house with their new partner. They're performing better at work. They're, you know, so this is one thing I find with online stuff, especially when you're selling services or consultancy or anything of that nature, where it's requiring you to help somebody, or you're doing something like a service related business, not a product related business. And I really do help people. I find I get the best results with people who are selling services rather than products. Because products right now, unless it's food, you know, unless it's essentials, people are not going to be buying. But people are still going to be trying to solve their biggest challenges, which could be their relationships. They might be stuck quarantined with their husband, they can't stand him, but they actually feel like this is a time to really work on what they've been avoiding through being a workaholic. You know, there's people that they're now wanting to change careers because they're out of a job, so they're going to want support on how to maybe start a business online, or how to, you know, move into the passion-based career, whichever that may be. So there's a lot of people who are going to have needs, both emotional and mental, and need support, where you could actually be offering that. You know, whether you run a course, whether you run a mastermind, whether you run a one-to-one service, you know, whatever you do, there's people who gravitate specifically to you because you come from the same background. So there's a thing called culture add. And culture add is when you have a cultural advantage. So if you're, you know, a woman, let's just say, for example, you're a Muslim woman who's lost 20 pounds. That woman, if she went on an advertising campaign, she's going to attract other Muslim women because they have something in common, and you know, there's a culture advantage for her that she can show up and attract certain people. I'm not saying that this is how it always works, but what I'm saying is that you have an advantage to certain other people because of your background, your race, and being honest, people do buy from people who share similar things. It doesn't have to be color. Like I like to attract people from the spiritual space. I love, people call them the woo crowd. I'm part of the woo crowd. So I love attracting healers and mindset coaches and people who think very different, because that's what I resonate with, you know, and we think alike. So it's about your thought and vibration is going to attract the people you know, your culture add. Culture is about a culture is a group of people who have the same sort of belief system or ways of doing things. So, you know, whatever your belief system is, you could be an atheist, whatever, you can attract those people who become part of your tribe. Okay, let's move on. So guys, alignment. Now this is like kind of like really key to what I was saying, which is that the biggest part of this is for you to really match the frequency of which you want to create. And I probably should have started with this, but I think I'm starting at the level that most people understand. But this is so key, guys. You know, alignment. Alignment is doing something that is in total alignment, using the same word to describe the word, but is in total sync, it's in sync with you at your core. It's in sync with what you stand for and you believe in. And you've got to match that frequency. So if you stand for your own financial and economic empowerment and being, you know, showing up in your best possible way and being wealthy and rich, and wealth, again, it's not about money, it's about the value that you have. And the value isn't it's everything but money. Your value comes in, you know, your knowledge, your expertise, the skills that you can share with people, the things that you can do, your connections, you know, these are all, you can turn all these into money. So that's your real wealth, your reputation, your track record, you know, these are all your things that create wealth. So your wealth isn't your money, it's all them things I just mentioned. And in order to increase that, you've really got to increase your frequency of what you want to create. So if you want to create riches, but you know, you're struggling to pay £1,000 or invest £1,000 into a business, then chances are you're not a match for the frequency that you want to attract. You know, if you want to attract more clients, but you're scared of showing up, you're not in the frequency to do, you know, because your frequency is, I want more, but I don't want to give more. And the world works is what you give is what you get. People trade with you because you're giving something to them and you're getting money. So you're going to have to really open up your mindset to what frequency are you actually vibrating from right now. And if it's a frequency of lack, if it's a frequency of struggle, if it's a frequency of limitation, you're not going to attract people who are going to pay you 10 grand or more. If it's a frequency of fear, or is this going to work for me, and it's not going to work. So if you want to build a 6-figure business online, you have to believe and feel and show up online in a powerful way that attracts what you are. I mean, and I really think I should just do a whole presentation on this, because I can give everyone the strategy, but if she's not the frequency, then you can get a million high-paying clients, they won't book you because you haven't matched their frequency. So guys, stop being afraid to show up and be visible and sell your services, because this is what a lot of people do. They have a business. Oh, I've got this business, but nobody knows about it apart from maybe your dog and your best friend. Nobody knows about it, and that's why people fail. Nobody knows what you do and how you sell. So you've got to stop being afraid to show up. And even if you don't like being on camera, you can write. If you can't write, find someone to write for you. Go and get a freelancer. There's many ways to accomplish, like, because a lot of people say, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. What can you do? You know, what you do must be able to do something. And if not, who do you have around you? Who's in your network who you can partner with, who may be able to help you, and you can pay them either later or once you make some sales or go into a partnership. There's so many ideas you can do to make this really work for you, okay? So start inviting people into webinars and sales calls. So this is like the main thing to really get people enrolled into what you're doing. You need to get them onto a call, or you need to present to them your idea, like what it is you have and why it matters to them and why they should consider buying into it. Without doing that, you're never really going to make sales, especially if it's like higher ticket and you're looking at selling high ends and you're looking at making this, you know, 100,000. And I know I keep saying these big numbers, but I want to get you guys into the frequency of that is possible. You know, I even feel that's like it's small because of what I'm seeing people do that are like making $1 million a month and, you know, 300 grand a month. And I'm sat here thinking, oh, you know, so I feel like, but so some people, you know, a lot of people have been conditioned, you know, that it's a lot of money, but it's not. So let go of your fears, guys. All entrepreneurs who avoid or shy away from moving their business online usually have a fear of technology, generally don't understand it, or hate having to show up, or all three. And the truth of the matter is, like driving a car, you know, you're gonna have to learn, or you're gonna have to hire a driver. You have to learn or hire a driver, someone to drive it for you. And if you want to serve more people, reach more people, expand your business global, you need to be online and you need to be visible. And if you want to make that money, guys, because business, it's a hobby if you're not making money. You know, it's not a business, it's a hobby. So I just want to remind you, you don't need a fancy website, even though I do advise it for a brand. And this is why we're kind of doing a whole revamp. It's taking a little longer than I wanted it to, but you don't need one. I sold out my first program, which I booked about 6 clients, all paying me high ticket. Did over about 21 grand in about a week. I didn't have a website for it. I just went to people and said, this is what I'm doing. This is what I have an offer. Would this work for you? Yeah. Okay. And these were, I didn't even, honestly didn't even go out. I didn't advertise. I literally just went through my network and I had something to offer and people bought. Do you need a huge following? No. As I said, I literally went through my phone book and picked out several people that I thought this could work for, and they bought. Damn, my battery's about to die. Well, that wasn't very smart. So 1 second, guys. Let me just go and get my charger. You don't need to have a huge following. You don't even need a funnel. You need an offer that people see the value in. People are going to make a good return on investment. They know what that is going to be. They know how you're going to help them, and they buy. People buy what they need and want. More need now, but also what they want. And the needs are going to be changing. As I said, the needs are going to be more about what people can do from home. People are still going to want to earn money. People are still going to want to solve their biggest challenge. Some people's biggest challenge isn't money. They've got all the money in the world. The biggest challenge is their health. Or the biggest challenge is their teenage daughter that keeps running off and taking drugs. Or their biggest challenge is the relationship that they've just been trying to get right, and it's not getting right. It's not money. Or their big challenges in their business, they can't get the right clients, or they can't hire the right staff. There's so many problems that people have that it's not money. It's other things that you can sell and offer potentially. So guys, this is the most important slide you're going to see tonight, because this is my whole entire model. This is everything I do to make consistent income, and I literally switch this on, switch this off. So I don't run as much adverts as I could, and I've been doing more now, but I've really never needed to, because I've been an organic social media person. Like, I'm always sharing content, people always reaching out. So it's never really been a thing until recently, when my original legacy 5,000 followers that I've had for 13 years, Facebook got closed down. But anyway, life goes on. So this is a process that I want to kind of go through, and this is kind of like the system. This is it. Like, this is all the pieces. It's a strategy. This is from A, B, C, D. This is this whole strategy. This is how we get the client from them not knowing you or even caring about you to actually now working with you and paying you money to deliver some value for them. So the first step is share content on social media or run adverts. So this is like the first part, and you probably come into this call because of that. I did a video and I talked about what was going on, or you got an email from me or a WhatsApp or something, because I put it out there, put it out to the world, and said, whoever's meant to be on this call, who wants to know about this, who wants to hear what I have to say, will show up and hear you all up. So this formula I'm showing you in action. So this is what you do. You share people, you share. Then I invite you into a list. So this list now got your data. So even if Facebook closes me down, I can still speak to you. I can still message you. I can still email you. And I'm actually thinking about moving this away from email and onto WhatsApp, because emails are not getting as much open rates, and everyone opens their WhatsApp. So soon you might see me ask for your number. And if I do, just understand it's because I'm going to send you a WhatsApp instead. Because email lists, they bounce. They're just not reliable as much as, whereas a WhatsApp or a text, even, everyone's on mobile phones. Everyone opens their text or WhatsApp, so you're going to get a higher percentage. But anyway, let's not go into the semantics of that. But I'm going to invite you into a list. So this is now where I have an opportunity to share with you. And it's not that I want to market. It's like, if I can help you, I want to help you. If you want to work with me and you think I can help you, I'd love to work with you. But because it's abundant, it's not like, if you don't want to work with me, it's not a problem, because there's millions of people who potentially, once they see me, will. And that's how you need to think. So I sometimes get maybe 200 leads, but maybe only 4 people buy. But if those 4 people buy and they spend £5,000, that's £20,000. I'm okay with that, and that's how I want you guys to be thinking. So you invite them onto a list and you provide free content. So free content could be like a presentation, like what I've done. I'm showing you tools, I'm showing you tips, I'm showing you things. It could be a lead magnet. It could be a swipe file. It could be so many free bits of content. It could be a free video series. It could be, there's so many things you can give online to give value. And what this does is about positioning you as the authority, as the expert, showing people how you can solve their problems, showing people the results you can create for others. And then once you do that, you invite people into a sales call. If they're interested in working with you further, if they've liked what you've said, if they feel they can get some value from you, if they feel they can learn, if they feel they can, grow and become a better person, and they actually want to take that next step, invite them onto a call. Then you might have 20 calls, let's say. You might only get 2 or 3 people, but that is the system. It's a system, and it works. And if I guarantee, if you try this, you are going to get results. I've not done this for one client that has not got a result. My last client, she did this. She made £10,000 in 7 days. My other client that's done this, she's done about 300 and odd leads in the last 14 days. So I've done this. I can tell you how many times I've done this over the years, and just it's the same thing. So people want to buy things that are going to take them from where they are to where they want to be. That is it. If you can show them how to do that and how you're going to help them, then it's an investment. If somebody showed me, okay, if you invest this, I'm going to make sure you have as many good employees that you need. I'm going to invest in it because I need it. And that's what people do. If you can show people how you can solve their problem, they're going to invest. So that is like, guys, take a picture, have a look. So let me just explain, because obviously I don't do as much Facebook ads, but I do it a lot for my clients who just don't have an audience, haven't built a following. This is the easiest way, especially when they're just showing up. Let's say if you spend, let's say £1,000 on Facebook ads. Now the average cost, so I'll tell you, the average cost per lead is about £5. So you get about 200 leads, right? So that's, you see them on all the time, Facebook ads, look at me, get my free masterclass. I know it's a bit saturated now, but people still do click on them, especially if at that moment they have a need and they see you, you look different, they like you, or someone. So people, you know, and that's why it's good to do video, because people like to, once they connect with you on a video and they think, oh, she's interesting, people do click in. So let's just say you sign up 10 new clients at £1,000. Of your £1,000, you're going to make a 10 grand return on investment. And this is why I do encourage people to figure out how to sell a higher ticket product. Because if you sign out of them 200 leads, let's just say you sign 10 people up, yeah, you've made 20 grand return on investment. If you sign up 10 people at 5 grand, you've made a 50 grand return on investment. And these are kind of the numbers that I work with. So I get my clients to spend a minimum of like £1,000. But even though some of them, they've spent like, you don't even have to spend that. Some people, you know, maybe not there, £5 a day, you know, spend £5 and they're still getting leads and clients in, you know. So Facebook ads and Instagram ads really work very, very well. And this is how every day you're just getting business. Every single day, new people that are interested in what you have to offer, what you want to give, and whatnot. So if you want to, so I want you to feel into what it would be like to earn 10, 20, or even 50 grand a month from just advertising your business and selling something high ticket, and, you know, offering value in a way that's going to solve people's biggest pains and problems. And, you know, and I know a lot of people are thinking, well, who's going to spend that money in this kind of market? Who's going to buy? There are many people across the world who will spend their last dime to solve whatever that problem is. And you don't know what people are going through, what's important to them. And that's why you can never judge. You don't know, like somebody could have a fledgling business right now and they just need to get online, but they sell their products at X amount, let's say 10 grand. And if you say, all right, then, well, I want 5 grand and I'll help you get 20 leads every month, and you know a system how to do that, people are going to spend it. They're going to spend it. They have no choice. So you've got to really think about what you do, or if you don't offer someone, who can you partner with who does, and can you sell their service in and make some money off the back end? You know, so the biggest thoughts that hold people back is, you know, going high end is an issue for them, because it's just like, if you're not spending this kind of money yourself, you think nobody else is. And I'm here to tell you that more people than you think are, because there's a lot more people with, especially in like America and other countries, that they have more. And these people are actually the ones who are willing to invest because they have it. They want the change, they want the transformation, they want the product, they want whatever, and they're willing to buy because they have a need. So how well to manage everything, such as technical know-how, the marketing, without the overwhelm and stress. I think that's a lot of the biggest, you know, a lot of people's biggest fear is like, you know, how do I learn how to do all of this? And especially if you're doing it yourself and you're not outsourcing it to like me and my team. And you could do that if you want, by the way. Even though I'm not taking any more clients on for that in a minute. But yeah, you know, how do I manage to do everything? And I used to say to this, you don't have to do everything. You have to simplify. You have to get a process first right. One, create a very good offer. And if some people just think, you know what, I can't do this high ticket, it's fine. You can create whatever offer you want. I recommend, if you want to get some money quicker. But some people think, you know what, the people I serve just are not going to spend that. Whatever, even if you're selling a £20 service, this strategy still works. But I don't advise you to do that. I advise you to, you know, get people to commit, because I'm telling you, people who spend little often want the most, and you know, give you a lot of headache. But you can create courses, you can create programs, you know, some of the lower ticket stuff that I'm doing or creating, they'll be at like $97, you know, and I'll still be using this strategy, but I probably won't do the call thing. It'll just be more automated. So, you know, it's looking at what's going to work for you, but managing it all doesn't have to be a headache. Will this work for my type of business or consultancy? So any kind of business, this strategy works. Consultants and trainers and this system is probably the only, I say the most effective, not the only, but the most effective way of doing it. But you can just tweak things. You know, you could do, instead of doing a webinar, you could do a summit. You could, instead of doing a summit, you could do a lead magnet. You could do free, you know, there's just free sessions. You could offer just free one-to-ones, roadmaps, and things like that. What if I don't have a high value service to offer? Well, everyone has a high value service to offer. They just haven't birthed it yet. That's it. You do. And if not, you just partner with somebody like myself or somebody who does, and just get us, introduce people, or partner. I do offer that partnership referral, where you can actually, if you feel that, you know, what I just could value, you know, bring value to somebody, you know, who has a business or is in the money a little bit, then you can earn from that. How can I do this without any experience doing this? Well, most people that do come into this don't have any experience. So you just learn, like, you learned how to walk, you learned how to talk, you learned how to drive a car, maybe you learned how to write. If you can learn all those things, you can learn how to do internet marketing, because it's a necessity right now. And do I have what it takes to pull this off? And I think that's the biggest thing, guys, is do you feel like you can do this? You can do this if you follow the process. It is a process that me and many people have repeated over and 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 over again, and got the same results. It's a formula. It's like a science. If you take flour, eggs, milk, whatever, and whip it up and put it into an oven and bake it, you're going to get a cake. This is the same thing. And I don't even feel, I think it's going to even blow up in this market because more people are at home, more people are pondering, oh, what am I going to do? More people on the internet, more people on Facebook ads during the day because everyone's at home. This is actually the best time to start advertising, showing up, showing people how you can help them and solve their problems. Okay. So I hope you now understand how to build your business online. I just want to come into the group just to kind of just to open this actually up to any questions or any things people like not sure about, want me to go over again, like just want to get some more information on, or just want to say anything. Is there anybody that would like the opportunity to do that? Yes, no? Well, I must have answered everyone's question. Is there not one person? Okay. Okay, no problem. So we'll just continue. So that is like in essence it. That's the formula. Now, if you want to know how I can help you implement this strategy, even if you're just starting, I can do that. This is not a hard sell. This is just for anyone that thinks, you know what, this looks quite interesting. I would love to actually try this with my business or somebody I know or my own consultancy. And I would love to work with Victoria and go through the process. So I have a digital mastery program, as you probably know, or if you don't know, you know now. So this is quite intensive because we spend 6 weeks together where I will help you build out your first high ticket offer in a mastermind group. So everyone get a chance to actually look at what they're selling at high ticket, like a high value offer, how to create that offer, what to offer in that offer, what to give people to give them a transformational result. So whether that's you want to create a program, a course, a mastermind group, a training group, teach people how to do something, we're going to build out that offer. And I say minimum £1,000. And sometimes even if you're doing £1,000, it doesn't have to be people pay up front. So I teach you how to make payment plans, how to really create something that people are going to get real value from, you're going to get paid well from, and you can deliver it online. And this is for consultants as well. It's about really looking at how do you create a good offer. You know, instead of doing hourly, we create longer, 6 months, 3 months, even 12 months. I mean, some of the higher packages that my client does at the minute, she charges about £15,000, but that she's working with you for 6 months. And she's helping, you know, she's in a different niche, but there are people buying it because of the value that she's putting into this 6-month program and the results that people will get from it. So I help you really understand different types of offers, digital products, and what to create, how to create them, how to price them, how to structure them. Then as part of this, I'm going to give you lifetime access to up to 350 digital marketing and social media training videos. So all the things that I've the main things, not all of them, the main things, I have a library and access that I give my clients access to, which gives you, so if I say, right, you need to run a Facebook ad, there's a Facebook ad training video that's going to give you everything, how to start, what to put in, you know, all the things about, and we'll go through these things as well. So during the first 6 weeks, every week we're going to be looking at the first part of the funnel. So how do I create my social media content? What am I going to share to get people engaged into what I'm having to offer? How do I set up my email marketing? So I have videos and I'll train you on how you set up your email system. Very simple things to do. You know, some people already have it, MailChimp, ActiveCamp, people will look through that. How do you write the copy? So how do you create even a sales page, you know, so that people can figure out what you're doing and, you know, sign up. And all the different elements, I will walk you through each part of that process from the beginning to the sales call, so you get the client on the end. And every single client that has what me has to close a sale. It's just part of my promise. So you'll also have support from me over the 6 weeks, really to take you from not knowing how to do this to setting yourself up so you can just it's a rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And then also there's a partnership opportunity. So if you don't have a business, or well, I hope you should have a business, but if you don't have one that you feel like meets the market and you feel like you want to do something or you want to learn, I'm also helping people who want to train as an online business consultant, so I can teach you the tools of the trade over a period of time, so you can also go out and sell and teach people this over 6 weeks as well. For those of you who maybe don't have a business, but maybe want to become a business consultant, an online business consultant, you want to master this, you want to train people. And I say, you wouldn't even necessarily train people, you would leverage the videos that we have, that the master teachings that go through everything, but you help people really understand the power of learning these strategies and also guiding them through so they get the results. So if you want to do this, just book in a call with me. That's my calendar link. I'm going to come off now. I'm going to stop sharing, and I will put my link in the actual bottom bit, so you can. But yeah, guys. So that was the formula. And this is really how you can show up online. It really is about you being understanding, not saying, oh, everyone's just market. It's not just, you need to understand the system, the process behind it, why it works and how it works, and then how it can work for you and your business, and applying it to your business. So I'm just gonna put my link. If anyone does, you know, you're interested, you think this is a good strategy, you're either applying it already, but it's not really working in effect of how you would want it to, or you've never done this before to market, and it's all new to you, and you want to do something like this, you feel like this could definitely bring you in leads, bring you in more sales, bring you in more customers, then feel free to, yeah, book a call. So you're welcome, Candice. So does anyone have any final thoughts or questions? Anybody want to say anything? I would love to hear from somebody. I feel like everyone's just really silent and I'm just speaking to a screen. So if anyone has something to say, I'd really appreciate it. Pamela says, thanks, you're welcome. You're welcome, 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 guys. Okay, so it just seems like everyone is clear. If there is anything else, Charmaine says, thank you. I just need to get, honestly, Charmaine, you do. I mean, what I'm teaching is not rocket science, not that it's not out there, but I think what most people struggle with is actually the support in doing it and the confidence to do it. And I'm not going to make out like it is, oh, you just put up a Facebook ad. There is different elements of making a Facebook ad effective. Sometimes you can put one out and you end up spending a lot of money and get 0 results. So there is elements of making these things work, and each element has its own science to it. But once you get the hang of it, once you understand it, the science behind it, especially the science behind persuasion and getting people really enrolled into what you're doing, then it becomes easy, and it works, you know, it really works. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed, guys, and I look forward to hearing from you all. And you know, I wish you all well. Don't allow these circumstances, this is actually, as I said, the time to show up. Don't let these circumstances stop you. A lot of the bigger players are going to be going quiet and not showing up, and now it's time for the new rising stars, new rising leaders, and new rising leaders and problem solvers and peelers and everyone to like really start showing, well, we are here for you, we can support you, we can give you what you need, I can solve your problems, I can help you get through, I can support you. And I think the more we're able to do that consistently and powerfully, the more you can help people, and that is the main thing. Okay, so thank you, guys. I love you all very much, and yeah, just message me if you have any more questions or you want to talk, or book in a call, and we will go from there. All right, guys. All right, take care. Bye.